We are back with a Cowboys mailbag answering all of your questions on America's team. A $2 super thanks from William Cook. It says NFL players will play in the Olympics until a Robert Edwards situation occurs. If you don't know, actually probably don't Google it. That was a horrifically bad injury. It was like a beach flag event, and he completely shredded his knee, and his career was essentially over after that. So I hope that does not happen. That is the big concern, though, that you get hurt in the Olympics and it's one of your best players and now you're kind of cooked. That would not be a good thing. So this came in via super thanks. Any super thanks, just like a super chat we'll get to on the live show. $10, just like during the live shows. A super thanks gets you into our George Pickens jersey raffle. TBD when we run that. Definitely won't be until the end of June, but we'll just kind of go until we reach critical mass. It's kind of the off-season giveaway. If we get enough, maybe I can do 2. We'll see. Get those comments, whatever, in via super thanks. B-Phil's 10. What about signing Will Hernandez? Pre-draft, I thought he was still in play. Post-draft, I don't see it. If you're Will Hernandez, you want to go somewhere where you have at least a chance to start. You're not starting in Dallas. This is your starting 5 offensive line. It's Guyton, Smith, Beebe, Booker. Hernandez is a guard. He's going to play guard. There's no room at guard. They have Brock Hoffman. They have TJ Bass. They've added Hakeem Adeniji, Sidney Charles, Nathan Thomas. Robert Jones is going to make this team as a guard. The interest in general, I get it. I think the drafting of Tyler Booker means you do not need a guard. You will not add one unless there's a rash of injuries. Maybe Hernandez waits for that. As it is currently constructed roster-wise, I don't see the Cowboys, either side really, having interest because there's just not the playing time. With that in mind, any player, realistic, name a player who you would like to sign. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. From Lucid, a $2 super chat. Would you trade for Daron Payne? That is the Commanders' defensive tackle. He is a good football player. Daron Payne is the type of player that the Cowboys need along the offensive or defensive line. You need that. You need an elite run-stopping nose guard. Why would the Commanders trade him? The other Commanders' nose guard is Eddie Goldman, who was retired like a year ago. Javon Kinlaw or Jerzon Newton, those are 3 techniques. I would do it, yeah, because he's awesome. I don't see why the Cowboys, or the Commanders, why the Commanders would do that at all. I just think it's pretty unlikely. Daniel, the only risk trade I can think of for the Cowboys is DJ Reader, but seeing that Lions won't cut him or trade him, it seems like we are stuck with what we have until June 1st. I want to emphasize this part, by the way, real quick. I was I would love DJ Reader. Awesome. I'm in. He's awesome. He's a good football player. He fills your need. Great one technique. I want him. I've wanted him for 5 years now. I would not anticipate a ton of player movement after June 1st. That tends to be I think that's more of a media talking point than anything else. I've seen it a lot. I saw it last year well, let's see who gets cut after, June 1st. You can designate guys post June 1st cuts. Jalen Ramsey will probably get moved. You're not going to be in the Ramsey market. Maybe Jair Alexander, but 99 times out of 100, the guy you were going to cut post June 1st, you just designate them post June 1st cuts. So I'm not worried about post June 1st, but, late August, roster cutdown time, there will be players on the market. And hopefully it's better than the guys you got last year. Franklin, D.C. for, I assume that's a lowercase L and not I. Thoughts on the PFF ESPN QB Rankings Dak or below? So, two different elements here. All right. Number one, in general, I want to take what the thing that is being discussed as the topic. What I mean by that, the ESPN QB ranking of Dak Prescott, assuming it's the Mike Clay one, which I assume is what we're referring to here, was a fantasy ranking. So if you want to rank Dak, whatever, 12th fantasy QB, okay, that's fine. That's not, I don't think that's outlandish. He's not going to run as much. Other lesser QBs, Justin Fields might be a top 15 fantasy QB, not a real life top 15 QB. It's fantasy. I would never take a fantasy ranking and say, oh, this means that ESPN thinks he's a non-top 10 QB. It's not what they said. That's completely altering the entirety of what was written, what was said. So I don't care about that at all. The PFF ranking does not make sense. I think it was 17th, right? The logic given was essentially, Dak's a good regular season QB, but he hasn't won enough in the playoffs. Therefore, he's behind QBs who have literally never won in the playoffs. I don't understand that. If you want to keep Dak behind other better QBs because of playoff success, I get that. The playoff success is totally valid. But we then have to apply a similar standard. Like, we can't rank Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith over Dak Prescott and cite playoffs. Doesn't make any fucking sense. They haven't done shit in the playoffs. I saw Kyler Murray have the worst playoff I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, that was horrendous. He benched himself in the game. Or tried to. So, all I want, my only bar, is keep your logic consistent. That's all I want. If you don't think Dak is a top 10 QB and you have valid reasons, and there are valid reasons, that's fine. But I can't get on board with, Dak is a great regular season QB, but he's not good enough in the playoffs against the better competition, so we put him behind QBs who are even worse against better. What are we doing out here? How does that make sense? It doesn't. Be consistent. That's all I ask for. Probably in that, if you want to rank him 12, I get it. Coming off a down year, that's fine. Don't put him behind Geno and Kyler and Lawrence. What are we doing out here? You're just assuming great production from those guys? That doesn't make any sense. It does not. So rant over. With that in mind, where would you rank Dak among NFL QBs? Opinions, I'm not going to get mad at anybody. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Steve-O, with games against the Eagles, Giants, Bears, Packers, Jets, Panthers, and the Commies to start, what record are the Cowboys through 7 games? I did do a record prediction breakdown that is available on the channel. I had the Cowboys winning 10 games this year. I had Eagles loss, Jets loss. I think I had them starting 5-2, I think, with upsets over the Packers. Yay, and break some curses there, and then let down a game against the Jets. You have to start hot, though, because your late season schedule is challenging. You can get the George Pickens jersey over at chatsports.com/Pickens. It is the pre-order jersey. So eventually it'll be the proper one with the updated numbers and everything else. 13, we'll see. Pre-order it now and get yours today at chatsports.com/Pickens. Dylan, hashtag Cowboys. I think Brian does it his first season. I had to do it. I think in general, the addition of Schottenheimer as your head coach makes it the widest range of outcomes. He could be good. There are scenarios in which he was a sleeping giant all along. He's a great head coach. The vibes carry through. He delivers. He's a fringe top 10 head coach. And there's a scenario in which he's actually just bad. And the rest of the NFL was right to not interview him for a decade to be a head coach. I don't know. That is the thing that I am most concerned about, because we haven't seen him do it before. It's a complete unknown. CJ, why is it Nick Chubb signed, and does he work for Dallas? I see this happen on a fairly consistent basis. I think we just did the Madden Sims. Madden is extremely guilty of this, relying on previous years of you were good 3 years ago, you're still good now. Nick Chubb has been, I think, one of the cooler backs in football. If you just running, he's been up there. He's been awesome. Frankly, Nick Chubb was really bad last year. Really bad. And he's coming off another season-ending injury. I think if you bring in Nick Chubb, you're not guaranteeing him anything. Like, I wouldn't even give him the Zeke contract because the Zeke contract essentially guaranteed him a roster spot. I'm not doing that. I might give him 1 year, $2 million, 1 year guaranteed incentives that are all unlikely to be earned. I think the Bears might end up adding him. That would not be a surprise. It's been kind of linked for a long time. I am down to add Nick Chubb. Competition is competition, but I'm not going to guarantee him anything. So I'll be honest. Would you sign Nick Chubb? Someone just said if we have a hooker, we should sign Chubb. Oh, you guys kill me. Y for yes, N for no. Caesar, how do you feel about this team assembled so far compared to last year? Even acknowledging that I thought the head coaching process was a disaster and terribly done, everything since then has been way better. Which, it kind of had to be. It couldn't be much worse. I made the comment last year. The Cowboys are setting up Mike McCarthy to fail. They are not doing that with Schottenheimer. I think the vibes, the roster moves in general, way better with Schotty in terms of what's happened, but long way to go. If you want more free Cowboys YouTube videos, hit that sub button. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Do not miss out. Get more free Cowboys videos every single day. Myers G58. Is this in relation to Gary Myers? That's what I keep thinking of, the longtime NFL reporter. Hey, Tom, how worried are you about the run defense? If you were GM, any flashy moves to batten down the hatches? I'd explore nose guard. I'd explore a trade option at running back. I do worry about the run defense. My concern is that we're just going to roll into August and go, uh-oh, turns out Mozzie and 7th rounders don't work, which is what we did last year. So I am worried a bit about the run defense. I am concerned there. Daniel, if the Cowboys should about this year, look for another DT or a corner. Seeing as they love either one of the two first-year DTs, they seem content, and that's frustrating. I think if you're locked into a pair of 7th-round corners, that's not 7th-round DTs. That's probably a bad sign. I don't know if Tommy Basote even makes the roster. Jay Toya, I like him a lot, relatively speaking. I agree. I think in general, DT, corner, maybe running back, maybe even a linebacker. I think they're fine for now, but check it again in 2.5 months. Check it again on August 3rd. They might feel differently at that point. So I would not rule it out altogether quite yet.